What is my top recommendation for a Chinese client or any other client to obtaining citizenship by investment? And I will give you my top 3 reasons for that. Reason number 1.
Hi, Cameron. Nowadays, more and more Chinese clients are looking to invest in Turkish real estate for citizenship, but they have no idea of the country, where to invest, how to invest. So, what's your top recommendation?
Thank you. Shinran here is with us for quite a while now, all the way from China. And we're about to break into the Chinese market. Isn't that right, Shinran?
Yes, for sure.
For sure. Now, Turkish citizenship by investment requires $400,000 to be invested from overseas into Turkey, and the applicant's spouse and children under the age of 18 all qualify with one investment of $400,000 for Turkish citizenship. And the process, diligently and efficiently managed, takes between 3 to 6 months. Now, we're seeing more and more Chinese investors lately, partially thanks to Shinran here, who wishes to invest in Turkey with a view to obtaining Turkish citizenship. But one thing we're seeing with our Chinese clients is that they have absolutely no idea where to invest, how to invest, what's a good investment, what's a bad investment. And they tend to come to Turkey, particularly Istanbul. Great majority invest in Istanbul, 95% in fact. They come to Istanbul with the perception of maybe larger cities of China, such as Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen, or maybe Dubai, if they're familiar with Dubai, and they look at Istanbul through the lenses of that past experience. And that's where massive mistakes usually are made, because Turkey and Istanbul have completely different dynamics to most other major real estate markets. Why? Because of the demographics here, the average age in Turkey being between 30 to 32, because of earthquake fault lines and the implications that have on the real estate market all over Turkey and in the region, wider region of the Mediterranean as a whole, and a few other factors that truly impact and create massive differences in terms of the real estate dynamics in Istanbul and other major cities in Europe or around the world. So, to address Shinran's question, what is my top recommendation for a Chinese client or any other client really from anywhere in the world coming into Turkey, into Istanbul precisely, with a view to obtaining citizenship by investment? Now, like most of our Chinese clients, this investment generally is what we call a passive, non-lifestyle investment, meaning they do not plan to move to Turkey or have a base in Turkey. They're purely investing for citizenship, and in the process, they would, of course, like we all do, would like to maximize return on investment. So my one single top priority and recommendation, without even thinking twice, is city center of Istanbul. As central as you get in Istanbul, but not the high-ticket luxury properties with all sorts of singing and dancing facilities that double the price, but affordable segment. Affordable to mid-range segment, as central as it gets in Istanbul. And I will give you my top 3 reasons for that. Reason number 1, city center of Istanbul gives you highest valuation per price you pay. What does that mean? The $400,000 is not only the amount you pay, but it needs to be also backed up by an independent survey appointed by the government. So it's all fair and good you coming in and paying, say, $425,000, but if the survey result comes as $375,000, then you do not have sufficient in the pot to apply for citizenship. So the survey result should also be a minimum of 400,000 US dollars. And in our experience, in entire Turkey, not just in Istanbul, the center of Istanbul will give you the highest valuation penny by penny. So your investment will almost be 100% matched by the valuation. That's a very, very important reason. So you do not have to overshoot by a long mile to satisfy the 400,000 US dollar base valuation. Number two, in central Istanbul, you get the highest occupancy for long-term lettings as well as very selectively short-term Airbnb style lettings. Central Istanbul will give you the highest occupancy and without shadow of a doubt, the highest rental yield, meaning the actual rent you receive compared to the cost of your investment, the ratio, rental yield. In central Istanbul, you will find that even on long-term lettings, you can net 6% rental returns. And if we do short-term lettings, particularly in areas like Beyoğlu, Şişli, Beşiktaş, parts of Kağıthane, you can actually get higher than 6%, up to 7.5% net rental returns. And 6 to 7% rental returns anywhere in the world are very handsome rental returns. Central Istanbul will give you that. And third, and most importantly, in my opinion, the exit strategy. Most investors, real estate investors, the biggest mistake they make is putting themselves into a position where they can't easily exit when that time comes, either because you wish to exit or because you need to exit. The second one, the latter, being a little bit more of a difficult situation, because if you need to exit, you need the cash, you're setting up a new business, or you need cash because you're buying something else. You never know what card life hands out to you. So at that point, if you wish to exit, and certainly 3-4 years down the line after you purchase, you're going to want some handsome profits for your investment. So you wish to exit quickly, but not only quickly, profitably too. Central Istanbul will give you that exit strategy. But again, I'd love to underline affordable city center, not the luxury, all singing, all dancing, bling, bling properties. Affordable. So my best strategy for an investor coming into Turkish real estate, looking at spending just over 400,000 US dollars to obtain Turkish citizenship, is to go for 2 properties in the heart of Istanbul. And if they are suitable for short-term and long-term lettings, that's a big tick. That's your very best investment strategy when we look at demand and supply, the macroeconomics of Turkey, the demographics of Turkey. All things considered, that's your best investment bet.
Okay.
So we can take this to our Chinese audience.
Yeah.
Okay, take care. I hope this short video turns out to be as informative as intended. And of course, as always, should you require further information and maybe even some specific citizenship by investment packages that we put together in central Istanbul, where you can actually buy 2 properties, 2 designer properties, just over 400,000 US dollars, all costs and legal fees included, giving you assured rental income for 3 years during your lock-in period. You want to know all about these? Call us at the numbers below or send us a WhatsApp or an inquiry, and one of our qualified and experienced advisors will be in touch with you shortly. Take care. Have a lovely day.